Now at 5:30, a story we've been following for years.
It's crazy money that Ohioans are paying to prop up two Eisenhower-era coal plants.
Ohioans fed up with their energy bills, especially in the wake of House Bill 6, a historic corruption scandal.
Then, our reporting that while the taxpayer bailout was repealed, you were still paying more because of that corrupt legislation.
We don't want to pay for this.
Now, state lawmakers are trying to get rid of coal plant subsidies in your power bill.
Columbus Bureau reporter Morgan Trow has been covering this scandal for the past several years.
And she brings us the latest effort that could bring your energy costs down.
Like clockwork, energy costs go up in the winter months.
It's been a long winter for us here in Ohio.
With a shaky economy and his FirstEnergy bills increasing, John Makeley is worried about his retirement.
Do I have to, manage to get to work and walk with a cane or a walker just to maintain a paycheck?
Taking a look at his bill, in the fine print, there's a subsidy that requires ratepayers to fund two Ohio Valley Electric Corporation coal plants, one in the southern part of the state and one in Indiana. But thanks to a new move by the lawmakers, his energy costs may go down soon.
Working to right a wrong.
The coal plant payments are part of House Bill 6, legislation that landed former House Speaker Larry Householder in federal prison for 20 years. He accepted a $60 million bribe in exchange for a $1 billion bailout for FirstEnergy. And while some of HB 6 was overturned, the OVEC provision still stood. But legislators plan to change that. The House passed HB 15 and the Senate passed SB 2, similar energy bills, but both repealed the subsidies.
Cost our taxpayers hundreds of millions of dollars for a bill that was bought and paid for in the largest scandal in Ohio's history.
A study commissioned by the Ohio Manufacturers Association found that in 2024 alone, these subsidies cost ratepayers roughly $200 million, and the company lost more than $100 million the same year. So consumers are paying for plants that aren't profitable. And while the bills were passed overwhelmingly in each chamber, former Speaker Jason Stephens argued that it could cause people to lose jobs if the plants shut down.
Ohioans who work at this plant, generations, their grandfathers worked there.
The Ohio plant is in his district, and he argued that the subsidies weren't part of the corrupt aspect of HB 6.
And when Ohio makes a promise, whether we like the promise or not, we see it all over the place, we should honor that.
At whose expense?
Each chamber will have to agree on one policy, and then it gets sent to the governor.
What would it take to earn back your trust in energy policy?
Ooh, that's a tough one. The transparency is really important.
The lawmakers who support it say they're hoping to close this dark chapter in state history. At the Ohio State House, I'm Morgan Trow reporting.
And the Ohio Valley Electric Company saying in part, quote, "We continue to advocate for a reasonable timeline for transitioning the cost recovery for the OVEC plants and will work with policymakers as the legislative process continues."
And FirstEnergy is asking for a $190 million increase to what it charges for power. The request was made to the Public Utilities Commission of Ohio. There will be 3 public hearings on this held in Cleveland, Akron, and Toledo. That will be with the PUCO. And that first meeting will be at the Cleveland Public Library this Thursday.